now available in paperback and e-readers. Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door takes on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess featuring a bonus pin-up and the other 2 books in the Cyber Goddess saga at online bookstores everywhere today. You often hear a lot of comic book YouTubers complaining about the state of the comic book industry. However, you don't hear a lot of comic book YouTubers talking about many of the great books that are currently on the shelf and a lot of great books that are still available right now. Now, one of the things I try to do on my channel is I try to highlight a lot of those great books because there's just so many great comics out there, and sadly many readers never know about them. And that's one of the gripes I have with many of these YouTubers who were a part of Comicsgate, is that they talked about how they wanted to get good comics in readers' hands, but they oftentimes never went out here to recommend a great comic. No, they spend most of their time either roasting up social justice warriors who post tweets on Twitter, or they go out here roasting up bad comics or talking about bad business decisions at Marvel and DC Comics. And because many of your YouTubers out here have tunnel vision as related to Marvel and DC Comics and the ongoing drama at both of those companies, what happens is many really good books wind up falling through the cracks, and many good books are not discovered by new readers. Because if somebody like your boy Zach Comics Matter or Ethan Van Sciver or Yellow Flash came out here and recommended one of these great books, it could possibly take an independent creator's career to the next level, and it could possibly drum up a lot of sales for some of these really good books. Because with a recommendation from one of these YouTubers, what it could do is lead to people going to comic shops or going online to pick up some of these really great books, like Chariot, which one of my Facebook friends told me all about, and this series by Brian Edward Hill, Priscilla Palantes, and Marco Lesko. This series reminds me so much of 1980s Knight Rider, and it just is a very well done mini-series of, that's 5 issues, and we're at the 4th one, and the story is downright compelling. But you wouldn't know much about Chariot because none of the top YouTubers talk about Chariot, nor do they talk about many of what I call the best comics of 2021. Now, over the course of 2021, I have called 3 books the best of 2021. Your Shy Ninja, which I consider to be one of the best graphic novels of 2021. Josh Howard's T-Bird and Throttle Number 4, which is one of the best comics of 2021. And Damsel from Distress number 1, which is another fantastic book, which is one of the best books of 2021. Now, 3 of those books were Kickstarter books. No, 2 of those books were Kickstarter books, but they were just of such high quality that I had to go out and recommend them. And then there were other books that I picked up that I highly recommend, like the new Concrete series, The Watchmen. That's another great comic that most people don't know about. And there are other books that people have not ever heard of because many of the comic YouTubers, they just don't talk about them. But I talked about them regularly on my channel. I talked about the graphic novel Nani, which came out this year. And I want to do a video on The Antagonist, which is another fantastic comic. And I also did one on Billy Tucci's second She book, She Haikayo, which was also great. And I would rather spend my time talking about really great superhero comics and great comics in general, rather than sitting here complaining about things like the Winter Hulk. Now, I did do a video roasting up how bad that Winter Hulk image was, and because it was an absolutely terrible image that reflected Marvel Comics. But as I see it, that focusing on that type of comic really does not help the business. I mean, if comics are getting destroyed by manga, and we are in the second month where comic sales have been overshadowed by manga, then there should be an effort by comic YouTubers to really start talking about many of these great comics, like Chariot, like your Goth Ghost Girl, like Sister Mercy, like Shy Ninja, like Ahoy Comics, The Wrong Earth. I mean, just so many great comics that are out here, but those comics get no press from comic YouTube. And the reason why they get no press from comic YouTube, I believe, is because many in comic YouTube are looking to get more views, and you get more views talking about social justice warriors, talking about woke, and talking about how bad more things are going at Marvel and DC Comics than sitting here talking about many of the great independent creators and the fantastic work that they've been doing over the last couple of years. I would rather focus on many of those independent creators, and while those YouTube videos don't get many views, I do get a lot of praise from a lot of those independent creators, because a lot of those independent creators, they come back and thank me on social media for making that video to let people know about their comic. They thank me for spreading the word about their product, and I do that because as a publisher, I know how important word of mouth is for a book, and the word of mouth about a really good book can increase a book's sales, and it can increase the readership. And I thought that's what Comicsgate was supposed to be all about. I thought it was supposed to be all about trying to get good comics in readers' hands. But what's been happening over the last couple of years is we're not about getting books in readers' hands, and not about trying to get more people to go to comic shops to pick up books. It has become all about all of this drama, and it's turned into one big junior high school where you have all of these people talking about social justice warriors, talking about how bad the books are, and whatever drama's going on with the most popular kids on the block, Marvel and DC Comics, instead of trying to elevate all of these really, truly great and talented creators on independent books and working at independent companies, and people who are out here, really, as I see it, bringing their very best work to the table, and that best work is being ignored by comic YouTube. And they're saying that they are so passionate about comics, but if you're truly passionate about comics like I am, you really want to see many of these independent creators getting some word about their work, and you want to see those independent creators being able to expand their audiences. And that's one of the reasons why I would go on the air when guys like Raymond Leonard were coming out with their Agent Solo Indiegogo, or Josh Howard was coming out with his G-Bird and Throttle Indiegogo, or the creator of Sister Mercy was coming out with his Indiegogo or his Kickstarter, was to get the word out so that more of my viewers could go out here and find these great comics, because I really want to see readers holding comics in their hand. I want to see readers enjoying comics, and I want to see readers going out here and anticipating picking up the next issue by a creative team or the next story that they're putting together, because there's just so much great content out there, and a lot of that great content is just practically being ignored, because 10,000 people would rather watch somebody roast up Gamma Flight, the new Marvel comic, than go out here and watch me make a review video of something like a Chariot, or talk about Damsel from Distress, talk about Goth Ghost Girl, or talk about other books like The Antagonist, or talk about books like Nani or Shy Ninja, books that really are putting together some of the best work I have seen in comic books in years, and putting together really compelling storytelling. And what's sad is a lot of that great storytelling is being ignored by many people who are just caught up in the YouTube drama. And we really shouldn't be caught up in the YouTube drama, because that's one of the reasons why manga is beating up on American comics in the sales division as related to business, because everybody is focused on YouTube drama with American comics, but drama and issues on Twitter don't generate sales. No, really compelling stories generate sales, and a lot of smaller books from small independent publishers, they deserve to get the word out. And that's how we save the American comic book industry, is we go out here and we talk about the good books and leave the bad to fall. Because if they don't want to go out here and put together a quality title, then all you can do is leave that title on the shelf and go focus on the good books. Because to me, there's too much good stuff out here to spend time wasting it reading the bad books and complaining about the bad books or bad companies like Marvel and DC. Because the only way those companies change is if they see their sales declining, and my money, again, is too precious, and my time is too precious to waste on very bad books. No, I would rather spend my time going out here reading a new book like Chariot, or a new book like from a new creator like Damsel from Distress or T-Bird and Throttle, rather than sit there and read an absolutely terrible Avengers book or a Batman book, all because the characters are familiar to me. Yes, I have had a lot of great fun reading Batman comics and Superman comics and Avengers comics and Iron Man comics, but I want to read good stories, and if it means going over to independent creators to get those stories, then I'll go over to those creators, because my time is precious, my money is valuable, and I don't want to waste my time reading garbage. And the whole thing is, I would rather read a quality book rather than read a poor quality one. And the way I see it, I would rather spend my time making a video about quality books rather than making videos about really poor quality books made by publishers who really don't care about me and don't care about the quality of their work to offer me a quality book to read. Now, if you want to read my first comic, Esteem No Good Deed, you can find it on Amazon.com for 99 cents on Kindle. And if you want to try some of the books on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, you can find all of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want to see me make more comic review videos, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Coming to paperback and e-readers in 2021, John Haynes, Taking Care of Business. The man who rules the world breaks on a brand new partner to help him take care of business in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes, Taking Care of Business in 2021 at online booksellers everywhere.